Most organizations don't have a values problem, actually. They have a dissonance problem. Hi, I'm Jen Kronberger, and this is Brave in 5. The language is beautiful. We care about people, we value well being, we champion inclusion. We are one team. You've seen the posters. You've even maybe helped write the emails. But what erodes people isn't the absence of good words. It's the gap between what's written on the wall and what's lived in the hall. That gap is what we call culture dissonance. Culture dissonance is subtle. It sounds like we prioritize mental health, but the leaders who get promoted are the ones who are always on, always available, always crushing it, no matter the cost. We want your honest feedback, but the last person who gave real feedback suddenly stopped getting invited into key conversations. We're one team, but every incentive, every metric, every story still glorifies individual heroics and silo wins. And here's the thing. Humans are exquisitely sensitive to that gap. They may not be able to name it in a slide deck, but they feel it. Belonging lives or dies in that space between what we say and what we actually do. Belonging is not, I got invited to the meeting. Belonging is the story this place tells about itself and my daily experience of it mostly line up. And when they don't, someone's willing to say so. When that doesn't happen, people learn a very quiet skill. They learn to fake it. They nod at the values, they repeat the language, they show up to the events. Inside, they're thinking, that's not how it works here. It's not safe to say that out loud. That is culture dissonance. And over time, it's corrosive. So let's turn this inward for a moment. I want you to think about your own team, not the whole organization, just the world you actually touch every day. What are the 3 or 4 words you would hope your people use to describe your culture? Maybe honest, supportive, bold, inclusive? Now, what are the words they might actually use when they're talking to a friend who doesn't work there? Not the LinkedIn answer, the real one. Sometimes there's a painful gap there. That's not a sign you're a bad leader. It's a sign that you're ready to see the system more clearly. Here are a few places culture dissonance often hides. In meetings where you say all ideas are welcome, but only the same voices speak and no one interrupts that pattern. In performance reviews where you say, we value learning, but you only reward flawless execution. In moments of conflict where you say, we talk things through, but you move on quickly because it's uncomfortable to stay in the same place. Belonging is built or broken in tiny, ordinary moments where people watch. Do your actions match your words, especially when it costs you something? So here's your Brave in 5 reflection this week. First, name one place where your stated values and your lived behavior are out of sync. Not in theory, in practice. Maybe it's responsiveness. Maybe it's workload. Maybe it's whose voice gets the final say. Say it plainly to yourself. We say X, but we often do Y. Second, bring that dissonance into the room. You might say to your team, hey, we often say we value openness, but I notice we move past disagreement very quickly, and I'm part of that. I want to understand what's really happening here. That's vulnerability. That's you stepping into the tension instead of dancing around it. And third, choose one small behavior that starts to close that gap. Maybe it's making space in every meeting for someone who usually stays quiet and actually waiting. Maybe it's publicly slowing something down because the way you're doing it contradicts the well-being you say you care about. Maybe it's asking your team, hey, what's one place where our story about ourselves doesn't match your experience? And then really listening. Look, you don't have to fix all the dissonance at once. You do have to stop pretending it isn't there. Because belonging doesn't grow from a perfect culture. It grows from an honest one, from people seeing you willing to say, we're not there yet. I see the gap and I'm committed to closing it, even in small, imperfect steps. That's what makes people think, maybe I can bring more of myself here. Maybe this is worth investing my heart in. Notice the gap, name it, and take one action this week that moves your world a little closer to the story you tell about it. Stay human. Lead brave.